Welcome everyone to an Ultimate Showcase where I display the defense and damage reduction stats down there on the right hand corner, as well as the team build that you see there on the left hand side, which adjusts every turn. We are showcasing the brand new Fat Buu or INT Majin Buu that has come out for Golden Week alongside the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku. Now this Buu team, or the Majin Power team, is a fairly modern team. We have Harudagan tagging along as well, but we've also got the brand new Easy A for the Tech Exchange Buu that you see there in the second slot, the brand new Easy A, at least on Global, for the LR Buu Tanks, who transforms into Buuhan in the third slot there. So yeah, all this team is fairly modern. I brought along LR Super Buu, seeing as he's got a little bit of a glow up recently, given that he has a home finally, as well as the Kid Buu, who again probably didn't have much of a home prior to this team here, and I've recently rainbowed him, so I wanted to really showcase what he's capable of. Now this is a showcase for the INT Majin Buu. Now I have to admit, when I was doing the calcs for the defensive stats of each of his attacks, he really surprised me. Now he's at a pretty modest 638k defense there, but semi-spoiler alert for later in the fight, you're going to see some defense stats that are really quite high for a unit that does an awful lot more than just stack his defense with the heals going on and everything like that. He's a very valuable unit. I mean, this team in general, if you take any damage, prepare to heal it back almost instantly. It's crazy. This guy, of all the units on this team, I could not be happier with how they easy aid him. Now, he functions pretty similarly in terms of his stacking as what he did prior to Easy A. It's his 18 key super that stacks defense. It's his 12 key super that stacks attack. It's greatly stacked for both of those now instead of a normal stack, which was gone from 30% in his previous form to an Easy A form, which gives him a 50% stack for each attack. He does an awful lot, but when he gets out that Ultimate Gohan form, things really ramp up. Harudagan I pulled, very fortunately, very quickly in that last celebration that we had. There's not necessarily a name for that celebration, but he came alongside his version of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and given that he fell under the 200% leader here for the INT Majin Buu, I thought I'd bring him along and showcase him as well. Having Big Bad Bosses link as well helps him with the Kid Buu and the Buuhan when he's out after the active skill as well. Now 458, this is my INT Majin Buu, the 55% one. You can see he's doing just over 100k defense extra per stack, which is pretty valuable. But as the fight goes on, it's not quite as simple as that, given the different multipliers that he has active when he's attacking. Now, if you're curious as to what I mean by that and how defense calculations actually work, I have a tutorial on my channel. Make sure to go check that out. It'll probably be in the title cards at the end of the video. Harudagan is probably not at his best in this phase, despite having type advantage. He's a big dodge unit. Bit of a dodge or die unit to a certain degree, but he also stacks defense in his base form, so that's kind of what I wanted to run with. However, he does have an additional locked behind dodging prior to attacking, so he's not going to get that in this phase of the Omega Shenron fight. Kid Buu, as mentioned, just recently rainbowed on the INT Majin Buu banner. He just did 3 attacks there, so he's 3/4 built up. His passive requires 4 attacks to fully build up. They don't need to be supers, they just need to be an attack in general. So he got the normal from the passive additional and then the hidden potential super, so that's 3 out of 4 attacks needed to build up. So he's going to be looking pretty good for us here. This Exchange Buu, if you're unsure how he functions in terms of like getting the best out of his transformations and everything like that, nothing has changed from pre-Easy A to Easy A. What you want is the Exchange Buu in turn 1 or 3. Long story short, what you want to do is float him off in turn 3. That's the way you can get his active skill into Super Buu at its earliest possible turn, which would be turn 6. If I was to keep him on rotation here, I would have to put up with another turn of the evil form before using the active skill in his his third total appearance. Not to say the evil form is bad in any way, shape or form. I mean, bad in the sense of performance. Obviously, he's evil. But yeah, we want the Super Buu out as quickly as possible, and we want to get these stacks in with this Majin Buu. And as you can see, he's nearly at 800k. This is only his second super attack. This is the friend at 79%. So yeah, he ramps up very quickly. You get a second super attack there, and he's nearly at a mil. 933k defense. I love this Buu. I really do. I think he's a fantastic unit. If there's any criticism I could make of him, I'm slightly concerned about how his damage is going to stand as time goes on. Without having effective versus all types or any built-in crit, you're 100% relying on the hidden potential system to get the maximum amount of his damage, which isn't an awfully high attack stat when you consider it in any context. So yeah, if anything, but I mean, that's not his role. He's designed to be a very, very, very defensive unit with a lot of healing to help units like this guy right here just go berserk. But to be fair, this guy doesn't have any built-in crits either, or effective versus all types. So he's kind of, you could argue that he's got the potential to suffer from the same criticism. However, his attack stats are so crazy big, and so the way he functions in this Buuhan form, it's important to understand, because he raises attack and defense by 4 turns on both of his super attacks. It's the same super attack effect on his 18 key and his 12 key. That's what I call a rolling stack. If you watch my Super Saiyan 3 Goku video, I mentioned it in that in regards to the Gotenks. A rolling stack is to differentiate between someone like the INT Buu here, who is a permanent stacker. Every super attack he does, he adds 30% to the super attack modifier for his defense. What this Buuhan does is he adds 30%, but it only lasts 4 turns. And what I mean by a rolling stack is that the attacks that he's going to do here on this turn, so bang, 12 million, love it. He's pumped himself up to 743k defenses. Very good, with plenty of additionals on the way, and the attack break, it's crazy. So any of the attacks that he does here, he's going to add 30% to the super attack modifier for his defense, as well as his attack, by the way. They will roll onto the following turn, so when we see him next, and then when he super attacks in that turn, he still adds 30% on top of that. But at the end of that turn, the stacks from the turn we're seeing right here expire. The ones from next turn that he performs will roll onto the following turn. So he's basically keeping himself at a sort of at a certain level. But if you don't get super attacks with him, that's when you're probably going to struggle. So if you do see him kind of staring down the barrel of an enemy with a very low percentage of health, you want to make sure you're getting your attacks in with the LR Buuhan there, because they're the ones that you're going to need to keep active at all times. Now, Kid Buu needs 6 attacks. He needs to take 6 attacks to get his active skill. He has taken a handful already. I'm not sure exactly how many, but with a couple of area of effects, or only one area of effect before the 3rd slot. I'm not sure if we're going to get to the top. We need to actually take a few attacks with this Super Buu, because he builds his defense per attack taken 20% up to a max of 140%. So we're going to situate things like this. He might take a little bit of damage straight up, 20k. He's only, yeah, look at that. At 300k, he's going to take a super here. Yeah, he takes it for 350k, which is a bit of a problem. And the reason that normal was more than the first normal, despite the fact that he's built up a bit of defense, is because the enemy raises its attack when it supers. So yeah, we're pushed pretty thin here, but as mentioned earlier, the way this team functions with heals, we're not going to be in any trouble, I don't think, next turn. We get a 20% heal from this Kid Buu after taking an attack, which he's already done. At the end of the turn, he'll do that healing. I haven't memorized the Fat Buu's passive just yet. Oh, there you go. He's fully built up now. And just under 700k defense. I think that's pretty good for Kid Buu. I mean, he's a pre-200% meta era unit. So I think that's pretty good, all things considered. Yeah, we should get plenty of healing, not to mention the healing from the start of the turn of who we got next. We've got the LR Buuhan. We'll have the other Majin Buu, INT Majin Buu, as well as the Exchange Buu. I'm not sure if the Exchange Buu actually has any heals. Him and Hirudegan are probably the ones that don't. Maybe Super Buu. I haven't memorized all these passives yet, and especially with the heals, there's so much going on at so many different points of the fight. Different points of the turn. It's really hard to keep up. So here we are. Here we got, yeah, the Exchange Buu, who will have his active skill. We get super. I mean, look at that. We were below 20%, possibly even below 10% HP last turn, and now we're nearly full. It's mental, absolutely crazy how much healing this team has. It's almost to its detriment. Like, this INT Buu has a revive. You never see it. It is tricky though, because the INT Majin Buu's guard is active when you come into the turn over 50% HP. Now, the healing actually can do you a bit of a disservice. If you come into the turn, like, so I'm pretty sure this turn here, we came into the turn after the healing from last turn under 50% HP. So with the 20% healing that Kid Buu did, we were still under 50% HP. But with all the start of turn healing that Buuhan and INT Buu does, we ended up pushing our HP much higher than 90%, even though we came into the turn under 50%. So the guard will still not be active for INT Buu, I believe. We'll see when he gets attacked. And look at that, 1.1 million from... It's crazy. And this is what I mean by the rolling stack. So you probably won't see his defense get much higher than this. The more super attacks we do, the better. This is his third. So every super attack provides a rolling stack. So, you know, if he's doing 3 and 4 every turn, well, 4 means you're going to see a higher defense stat the next turn. There you go, there's the fourth. 1.328 million defense. With guard, with dodge. This guy's mental. Like, one permanent stack we did in base, which obviously if you get him turn 1, you can do the 2 permanent stacks with the earliest possible transformation. 70% damage reduction, just under half a mil defense. I mean, a pretty modest defense stat, all things considered. But with the 70% damage reduction, he's not going to be in any trouble. There is a bit of an error. Oh, there you go. So he's not guarding that INT Buu. There is a bit of an error with displaying that little damage reduction indicator that the game does natively. I've noticed that on this Buu, as well as the LRSTR Goku and Vegeta that fuses into Vegito, each of those units get an extra amount of damage reduction depending on certain circumstances, but it's all during, like, so for the Goku and Vegeta, it's during an attack. For the exchange Buu, it's just depending on an ally. So they do have that active from the start of, or from those specific requirements. However, the indicator shows after they take an attack. It's weird. I don't know why. Kid Buu here. Now again, just to reference back my tutorial for how to calculate defense, the 20% increase in attack and defense from this active skill is a multiplier that sits out of all the other multipliers. So there is the phase 1 passive, there is the links, phase 2 passive, the super attack effect, the items, they're all separate multipliers. The active skill multiplier is a separate one altogether. So he's going to be quite juicy. He's there at 600k already, 400k for Hirudegan. So he won't get any higher than that because he doesn't raise his defense anymore on super. We're still building with the the AGL Super Buu. He should be fully built after all those attacks he gets after supering there though. 200k, Jesus. Luckily we're raising defense a little bit here, but still at what, 400, just under 400k defense. Yeah, he's still, I mean, he needs that guard. If he doesn't have that guard, he is quite squishy, I feel. Well, there you go. That should be the last attack needed to build up. Thank God for the dodge of Hirudegan, which probably would have seen us dead. Almost 10 mil and almost 800k defense for Kid Buu. I like this Kid Buu. I really, really like this Kid Buu. Might struggle a little bit with some of the 9th anniversary content that's on the way for global, which obviously I don't have available to me. Otherwise, I'd probably be running one of those events. But still, this event is no pushover. It'll still render a majority of your box useless. So to see that STR Kid Buu holding his own quite handily. I mean, he is Rainbow, to be fair, but yeah, I think he's quite impressive. This Hirudegan I have a lot of fun with as well. This is only a 55% Hirudegan, and he's, you know, just under 10 mil. I mean, a couple of mil off, but with all the dodge chance that he's got, and, you know, potential to stack further in other events where he's a little bit more tailored to, he's dodging, he's doing his best. I think he's good enough. I have a lot of fun with him, at least anyway. And there you go. Again, we're under 20% HP at the most, and we're already at, what, over 70% HP. So we could use Buu's active skill here. I'm going to choose not to, just so we can show off these units at their peak. Get them, you know, I want to see this. I want to see if we can get the additional with Super Buu, because he has a rolling stack as well. It's only a 3-turn stack, so the rolling stack only counts when he's in slot 1 or 2, because a 4-turn stack would leave you with all your, oh, Jesus, look at that, 1.5 mil. 1.5 mil. I mean, Jesus, the amount of defense he gets when he supers is just astronomical. 1.67. Ooh, he's a bad boy when he gets going. And links are crucial as well. He gets a lot of defense from links, at least 25%, a little bit more possibly depending on the ally he's linking with. And I don't think we'll take anything here. We don't. Oh, I didn't show the defense lowering. I should have. That's a mistake on my part. I like to show the effects that the boss of super attacks has. So what that boss super attack would do lowering, oh there you go, 23 mil at 8. Whoa, that is Super Buu looking very good. So Super Buu, INT Buu would have basically lost a stack plus a little bit more from that super attack from Omega. So the stat that I would have shown where it was 1.5 odd, it would have been a little bit lower than that after he got hit with Omega's super attack. I apologize for not doing that calculation and showing it live. I usually am pretty good with that, but I've made that mistake this time. And 1.2 million from Buhan here, looking very crazy himself. Bang, 1.369. Love to see it. I love this Majin Power team with the cameo from Harudegan. This is a very fun team. I hope that showed off in Majin Buu as good as you would have liked to have seen him. I hope it did him justice. I hope it did all the other units justice. Let me know with a timestamp below what defense stat kind of caught your eye as particularly impressive or particularly not impressive. If you like the content, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the fun stuff if you'd like. I appreciate if you do. It helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching, guys. We have a showcase coming for Tech Gohan, who is set to Easy A later in the week, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.